You click send on an invoice, and you probably think that's the end of it, right? Maybe you picture a little PDF landing in someone's inbox. But in today's economy, something way more complex and honestly pretty fascinating is happening behind the scenes. So let's pull back the curtain and uncover the secret life of an e-invoice, a crazy high-speed journey that most people never, ever get to see.
So on the surface, what you see is totally simple, a nice, clean, familiar-looking invoice. But what's really going on under the hood? Well, it's this lightning-fast, super-structured conversation between multiple, really powerful computer systems. We're not talking about a file anymore. We're talking about a real-time data exchange. It's like a digital handshake between a company, a secure cloud, and the government's tax authority itself.
But why? Why do we need this massive technological shift? To really get that, we've got to rewind a bit and look at the chaotic and, frankly, super inefficient world of old-school invoicing.
Yeah, the old way was, let's be honest, it was a mess. Processing paper or even just PDF invoices was this slow, manual grind, just packed with human error. For businesses, that meant really frustrating delays in getting paid. And for governments, it was a total nightmare. Trying to track what was happening in the economy was like trying to assemble a puzzle with half the pieces missing. And this created the perfect breeding ground for tax fraud, a multi-billion-dollar problem that countries all over the world are now scrambling to fix.
And that brings us to the hero of our story, the true e-invoice. Now, I want you to completely forget about PDFs for a second, because this is a different beast entirely. It's pure, structured data written in a universal computer language like XML. And it's designed specifically to be exchanged directly between machines, so a tax authority can validate and approve it instantly.
So, let's do it. Let's follow one of these e-invoices on its epic journey. I want you to imagine it's like a high-security package, and it needs a digital passport to get stamped and approved at a very, very strict and very, very fast border crossing.
Okay, so this journey has 4 absolutely critical stages. First, the invoice is born right inside the company's system. Second, all of its data gets translated into the government's official language. Third, it's sent out via a secure digital courier. And finally, it faces judgment, a real-time, all-or-nothing inspection by the government systems.
Let's zoom in on that second stage, the universal translator. See, a company might call a product widget A in their system or have a payment term like net 30. But the government? The government needs official codes for those things. So a powerful framework right inside the company's system acts as this translator, converting all that internal slang into the very precise government-mandated XML format.
Right, once it's translated, the invoice is ready for its trip. It gets a digital signature, which is basically an unbreakable, tamper-proof seal. And then it's sent through a highly secure cloud channel. This digital courier service delivers it straight to the tax authority's front door, making sure the data is safe and sound every single step of the way.
But here's the catch. This whole high-speed, high-stakes journey is incredibly precise. In this world, there is absolutely no room for error. And when things go wrong, they go wrong fast.
Now, you might think these big failures are caused by, massive system crashes or something dramatic. But that's almost never the case. The real problem, the thing that starts the fire, is often something much, much simpler. So, what happens if there's just one little typo in the customer's address or their tax ID?
This table here just illustrates the consequences perfectly. Look at this. You get the customer's tax ID wrong, the system spits back a mapping error, and boom, that invoice is instantly rejected. Get an incorrect region code for a delivery? That's a validation failed, and that means your payment is going to be severely delayed. And what about missing a simple unit of measure, like forgetting to say pieces or kilograms? Well, that triggers an error in mission control and could even mean a compliance breach. These tiny little data details have huge consequences.
And this is probably the most critical part to understand. You cannot, I repeat, cannot edit a sent invoice. It's not like fixing a typo in an email. Once it's sent, it's a legally recognized document. The only way to fix an error is to officially cancel the entire invoice, go back and correct the data at the source, and then send a brand new one on the exact same journey, right from the very beginning. So, with so much on the line, how in the world do companies manage this incredibly intricate process for thousands, sometimes millions of invoices every day? Well, they use a central hub, basically a mission control for their money.
And here it is. Welcome to the e-document cockpit. This is the command center. It's the single source of truth where every single invoice's journey is tracked in real time.
From this one screen, users can see if an invoice was successfully born, translated, sent, and judged. And if something goes wrong, this is where the alarms start flashing.
And this right here is the moment of triumph. After its whole perilous journey, our hero invoice has passed inspection. It gets that beautiful status accepted and is given an official, unique government ID number. This is the digital passport stamp. This is the final approval that makes the whole transaction official and legally binding for everyone involved.
Okay, so let's zoom all the way out. Why does this invisible, super technical process actually matter to all of us? Well, because it's fundamentally changing the way entire economies work.
The big picture impact here is massive. This system dramatically cuts down on tax fraud by giving governments real-time visibility. It automates reporting that used to take companies countless hours of work. It creates a level of economic transparency we have just never seen before. And of course, for businesses, the reward is crystal clear. Get it right, and you get paid faster than ever.
And, that really brings us to our final thought. This technology, it's just the beginning. It started with invoices, but what it really represents is this fundamental shift towards total financial transparency, a shift that countries all over the world are adopting. So the question I want to leave you with is this. When every single transaction becomes visible to governments in real time, what changes next?